putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
She's very knowledgeable on this subject, and she's a hawk on this issue. So for her to pretend like, well, I don't really know what was going on, I was not involved, just stretches credulity. And that's one of the reasons we need to have an investigation. And really, to this point, Tucker, we have not had a congressional hearing on this. Here's the bottom line. As this deal was coming for approval in 2010, the Clinton Foundation received from 9 shareholders in this uranium company that was sold to the Russians. 9 of them, all of a sudden, decided they were going to donate large amounts of money to the Clinton Foundation, more than $145 million. And by the way, a lot of those donations were never declared publicly by the Clintons. Right. They were hidden.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. Nothing to see here. Uranium One tied to the Clintons, tied to Obama, tied to your national security. Treasonous activities. Oh, my goodness. KJRadio.com. 844-551-8255 if you want to chime in. Treasonous. Ask yourself a very simple question. I asked it earlier in the broadcast. If Donald Trump had anything close to this, what would be happening? First of all, let me answer this question for you. It was rhetorical. I didn't really want you to answer. I wanted you to answer in your own minds. But you know what's going to happen here, right? You know where I'm headed. First of all, you would be mad if you knew that Donald Trump did a deal like this. You, as conservatives, would say, wow, he pulled one over on us. We didn't know he was this crooked. How in the world did he have this type of a connection to the Russians? Maybe he did influence it. We would revolt, and rightfully so. 20% of our uranium production is now in the hands of the person that the left have told us is the worst enemy we could have. Forget China, forget Iran, forget North Korea. They have told us that dealing with Putin is the worst thing we can do. Am I right or am I wrong? And what do? They deal with Putin and they give him the precious resource that will allow countries to do thermonuclear war, to perform thermonuclear war against the United States of America, to the worst guy on the planet. But they did it, not Trump. So the first thing that would happen is you and I would revolt. We'd say, how could you possibly do this, Donald Trump? Are you kidding? We trusted that you did not have any dealings with the Russians, and you have dealings with the Russians. We would be mad. And the second thing is, you can bet that Donald Trump would be impeached. He'd be out of office. We would be behind him. We would be saying, oh my gosh. And of course, the Republican Party would be in triage, and the Democrats would be celebrating. Mike Pence would be your president. And of course, Mike Pence would turn on Donald Trump. He would say, I had no idea this was happening, and we're going to prosecute this to the fullest extent of the law, and there will be no pardons for Donald Trump. And he'd be right. And the Republicans, that the rhinos, Paul Ryan would be, oh my gosh, this is worse than we thought. And all these guys would be jumping on with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, and Harry Reid would come out of the woodwork, and Hillary Clinton would say, see, I told you, I should have been president. It shouldn't have happened. If we'd been doing this at the Clinton Foundation, I'd be in jail. People should be arrested for this type of thing, and they would be telling you how bad it should be and the type of penalties that should be waged against anyone who would do such an egregious thing against the nation. But they did it. So what do you want them to do? Come on, boys and girls. But you know, all you got to do is flip it. Donald Trump, there'd be outcries to get this man out. There would be nothing Donald Trump could tweet. There'd be nothing he could say in the media. He would be ostracized. His career in politics would be over. But Donald Trump didn't do that. No, it was Hillary Clinton and her team that did it, and Barack Obama was complicit. And if the outrage that they would be showing against Donald Trump, if they showed 1/1000th of the outrage against this towards Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, those two would be in prison, because the level of outrage that would be leveled against Donald Trump would be, if you think they're beating up on him in the media now, let him have done what Hillary Clinton did. Even by default, let Paul Manafort or Donald Trump Jr. or anybody that they've looked at for this, let any of them have done anything close, and by proxy, Donald Trump would be feeling the shrapnel. He'd be part of the nuclear blast zone of whomever had done it. But, as I say, he didn't do it. It was them. So what does the left do? They don't talk about it. They tell you Donald Trump's a racist. Did you see what he did to that Green Beret who died? That anti-military, anti-American, non-military, budget increasing, hate the military Donald Trump, who never does fundraisers or anything pro-military. You've seen him in action. Oh, wait a minute. I'm talking about Barack Obama. I'm sorry. But they want to convince you that Donald Trump is the person who called a widow of a Green Beret and treated her with disrespect, disrespected her husband. Forget the evidence of all the other people that Donald Trump's called where he says, you know what, I'll take time out and call. Forget the evidence that Barack Obama didn't call, because none of that matters. The only thing that matters is the narrative that Donald Trump hates the military. He's anti-black. He's racist. And he disrespected that woman. Why? Because a woman who hates him by the name of Frederica Wilson said it. That's why you should believe it. Hands up, don't shoot. and Donald Trump came up to that widow and he shot her point blank. He shot her point blank in her head. And that widow was saying, please don't shoot me, Mr. Trump. Did y'all understand that? I did that in Ebonics. Folks, we live in a world of lies and subterfuge. Have you seen that CNN ad? It's a thing against fake news, and it has an apple, and it says something like, this is an apple. But no matter how much they tell you it's an orange, it's still an apple. And essentially, it's them trying to say that you're getting other news about them being fake news from other people, and you shouldn't believe it. It is, we are an apple. Believe it, we're an apple. And I find it interesting that they now, you can bet this is happening, folks. The news media has enlisted the support of Madison Avenue to say, how can we get rid of the idea that we're not fake news? I told you guys, Donald Trump is a bigger news source than any of them. If it weren't for him, the news engine of America would be down. We did a story about this the other day. Wall Street Journal, they're all up with Trump. We played a clip where the guy says, I don't know what they call it, like Trump bump. I think this is what they call it, Trump bump, where they know that when they do news on Donald Trump, they get a bump. So if it weren't for Donald Trump, these guys would be losing. They are losing money still, but they would be losing money worse than what they are. They need Trump. And he could easily, and does, routinely circumvent them. If Donald Trump doesn't tweet, there are people at these news bureaus that have nothing to do. They have nothing to do. And they don't analyze his tweets when he says, hey, check out the stock market, or hey, look at what's going on over here. They only tweet when it's Donald Trump. Oh, he just said such and such. They tweet for controversy. And this is what's interesting about it. That's what the person revealed at the New York Times. We're not looking for news. We're looking for stuff to hammer him on so we can get more ratings and news and all that. We don't even care. Lie, truth, doesn't matter. This is what the media has come to. It's pretty sad. And so now we've got the biggest story of our time, Uranium One, and this whole thing, nothing being talked about. But we've got apologies, a lady by the name of Frederica Wilson who wants an apology for how the president is treating her with respect to her lies about him and the phone call that he made to a Gold Star wife, a Gold Star widow. She wants an apology. She demands it on behalf of her constituents, whom she's done so much for. Because what would those constituents have done without her? I mean, she's the one bringing home the bacon. She's the one doing all these things where black people feel represented. I would defy you. Show me where she's represented black people. She might look. It's like me. I can help a few people here and there. We've done, between my organization, we've helped probably over 1,000 kids get their forever family. But I'll tell you this, what could I have done as a congressman for black people? I'd have them in better schools. I'd have them thinking differently about their neighborhoods. I would have neighborhoods rising. I would have business coming into their industry. The thoughts would be different. That's what I'd do.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.